All right. Shalom. First and foremost, all praises, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Kodash, which Yahweh is named the Heavenly Father. Bahasham means in the name, Ba'in, Ha the Sham name. Salak, excuse me. Yahweh Shai is the name of the begotten Son. And Rachak Kodash means Holy Spirit, literally translated Spirit Holy. Rachah, Spirit, Kodash, Holy. And gonna hop right into this, man. I know Apostle said, get on a comment, put your input in on the comment board, but there's a few things I want to say on this, concerning this comment right here through the Spirit. And I want to bring out some scriptures, And this is like some of the craziest reasoning I ever freaking heard in my life. This shit crazy. So the guy comes, let's not forget Israel. If the Lord's will, we should live this weekend. On tomorrow will be the 7-day weekly Sabbath, which would be from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. Apostle Zahar lets him know plainly the full moon is not the new moon. I'm going to go to the fourth comment. The third one is something else. He says, this is the thing that's really crazy. I disagree. A new moon is a new month, just like a full moon is a full month. When it is a new moon or a new month, when it is a full moon, which is a full month. So what about the other 2 weeks? All right, what about the other 2 weeks? Because whether you go from new to full or full to new, just look at the moon cycle. All right, this is how it works. It goes new moon. We're gonna go weekly. All right, let's skip what's in between. We're not gonna worry about the waning, the waning, or waxing. We don't need that. We're gonna go 7 days to 7 days. New moon, 7 days later, is the half moon, also called the first quarter. Then the next 7 days is full moon. By the way, each one of these days are Sabbaths. So we got the new moon, that's a Sabbath. We got the half moon, first quarter, that's a Sabbath. We got the full moon, another Sabbath. We got the last quarter, another Sabbath, or another half moon, as the light is decreasing. Then we have the new moon again, which completes the cycle. That's the new month. Okay? If you're saying the new moon is the new month and the full moon is the full month, the month is over with. What the hell are we doing with these other 2 weeks? Are we just floating through the time-space continuum? Even if you say the full moon is the beginning of the month, that's still only 2 weeks from full to new. It's still a whole other 2 weeks before it goes back from new to full. That's madness. That is madness. Furthermore, to answer the question the Apostle asked, no, IUIC is not correct. The new moon is the new month. Simple. And we're going to get these precepts, man. Yeah, this is crazy. And we're going to start with, really, man, this is not going to be long. We're going to get Sirach. I believe it's Sirach 36. No. Sirach. If I don't get it right this time, I'm going to search it. This is Sirach 43 and 6. There we go. The moon and stars. This is what they say this section is titled. Which that's how we track time. This is Genesis 1 and 14. Yeah, this is Genesis 1 and 14. And the power said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, Let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven, to give light upon the earth. And there was so. And the powers made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And the power set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from darkness. And the power saw that it was good. All right, but verse 14 was the point. These lights, one being the sun, one being the moon, all right, are for signs, seasons, days, and years. That's how we track time, all right? We didn't have a Gregorian calendar or a Julian calendar or any of that, all right? This is how we track time. Now, the Sirach 43:6. He made the moon also to serve in her season for, it says right here, for a declaration of times. All right? The moon shows us how to keep our feast days. Okay? And the sign of the world. Oh, the next verse. From the sign is the sign of feast. From the moon is the sign of feast. A light that decreaseth in her perfection. So when we see this second half of the moon cycle, let's start at full. The cycle ends when it goes from full down to waning gibbous, down to last quarter, down to waning crescent, until it fully disappears because it decreases in its perfection. All right, that's the end of the moon cycle. That's the end of the month. The word moon and month mean the same thing. Then we start over with the new moon. Then it builds back up. And when it's at the last end of the month, the last 2 weeks, it decreases. All right. Plain. This is the etymology for moon. Plainly, Mona, Mond, also month. The word moon and month means the same thing. That's how we track months. Okay?
Yeah, it's just a lot.
All right. All right. Let's see. Back to Sirach 43 and 7. Yep, from the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. So the month has ended, it finished its cycle when the lights are decreasing. The month is called after her name, like we looked up. Moon means month, month means moon. Increasing wonderfully in her changing. So that's how the month starts. It increases. The decreasing is when it's completing. It increases wonderfully in her changing. That's how the month starts. Being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. The beauty of heaven, the glory of the stars, an ornament giving light in the highest places of the Lord. At the commandment of the Holy One, they will stand in their order and never faint in their watches. So it plainly tells us this is how we track time. The only time is how we track our feast days. All right? And it lets us know what is what. What's the new moon? What's the full moon? It lets us know plainly. So, it's another one in Psalms, I believe. This is Psalms 104:19. He appointed the moon for seasons. The sun knoweth his going down. Let's get this word for seasons. All right. Mawa'id. Appointed place, appointed time, meeting, appointed time, sacred season, set feast, appointed season. Appointed meeting, appointed place. Okay, we get it, right? Fixed time or season, specifically a festival. conventionally a year, but implication and assembly. It's all those things, but this is what it's going into. This is Leviticus 23. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and saying to them concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Even these are my feast. Let's get this Hebrew word for feast. Same word. Mawa'id. Appointed place, appointed time, meeting. Sacred season, set feast, appointed season. And it doesn't mean actual feast, because the Day of Atonement is a feast day, and it's not a feast. Or you don't eat on the Day of Atonement. All right? Like it says right here, congregation, feast, season, appointed time, assembly. This is when we have the holy days. These are the sacred days, the sacred season. All right? 6 days shall work. The first feast it mentions is the Sabbath. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. So to track this feast day called the Sabbath, we have to go based off the moon, because we just read 2 precepts, and as the scriptures say, precept upon precept, line upon line. We now have read 2 precepts, this being the 3rd, that goes into these feast days. And it's based off the moon. So to keep the Sabbath, it'll be based off the moon. The new moon, to be precise, because that's the beginning. That's when it starts. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. Let's get the word for convocation. Maqwara'ah. Maqwara'ah. All right. And it says convocation, convoking, reading, a calling together. And then it says down here, a public meeting. That's that assembly. You know. There we go. When you read the New Testament, Acts, I believe it's Acts. It was speaking of Paul. It says, as he was accustomed to go, and let me just try to get it. Lord willing, I get. I just don't want to butcher how it was said. His manner, that's the word. Acts 17:2. And Paul, as his manner was, went in unto them, and 3 Sabbath days reasoned with them out of the scriptures. Because on the Sabbath, what would we do? We would congregate. That's what we would do. So Leviticus 23 and 3, 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. You should do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. So the first feast day that we're supposed to keep, and we know which day to keep it on based off the moon, is the Sabbath. These are the feasts of Yahweh, even holy convocations, which you shall proclaim in their seasons. Let's see what the word for seasons is right here. Mawa'id. Look at that. Okay, this is the appointed time. This is what we gather at. These are the days we will link up. So it reads, and the fourth. Now look, Leviticus 23:5. And the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover. We can also read this as in the 14th day of the first moon cycle, because the first month is the first moon cycle of the year. At the even is the Lord's Passover. And this 14th day, all right, at even will be the 15th day, which would be the second weekly Sabbath of the month. AKA, let's pull this up again. the full moon, because the new moon is a Sabbath, which is the first day of the month. 7 days later, all right, which would be the seventh day evening, which is the 8th day, would be the first quarter, the half moon. That's the first weekly Sabbath. 7 days after that, which would be the 14th day at evening, which is the 15th day of the month, because the day starts at evening, is the full moon, the second weekly Sabbath of the month, and that's how we track it. Simple. The moon is the sign of the feast. So when we get to Psalms 81 and 3, all right, blow up the trumpet in the new moon at the time appointed on our solemn feast day. All right. Kadash, it says new moon monthly, the first day of the month, the lunar month. That's what a real month is. It starts on the new moon. But also, that word Kadash can be there for the word month itself or monthly. But blow up the trumpet in the new moon at the time appointed. And this phrase, time appointed, is not the same word mawa'id here. This word right there means full moon. Let's go to the etymology of this word. All right. Kasah. To conceal, to hide, right? But I want to go into this fact that it says to fill up. Because the full moon is when it is filled up. And we read in Sirach 43 how the moon fills itself up. I'll just get it again. 43 and 8. The month is called after her name. The same word for month and new moon is, the Kadash is the same word for month and new moon. So the moon is the month is called after the moon. All right, same words. It's called after the same name, increasing wonderfully. So the moon cycle really goes from, it starts and begins at increasing. Then it goes to full. And verse 7 tells us it decreases in her perfection when the cycle is ending, when the month is ending. So that word for full moon just was interesting. It's fill up. It's when the moon is completely clothed and you can see it. But the Sirach lets us know it's the end of the moon cycle. It's the end of the monthly. It's the end of the month. It's the last 2 weeks. So blow up the trumpet of the new moon at the time appointed on our solemn feast day, which is going into, well, the weekly Sabbath is the full moon. We also would blow a trumpet then. But this is going into a Passover, man. All right. But we got to keep our weekly Sabbaths, man. That's really what it boils down to. The Passover also happens on the full moon. But what else happens on the full moon? Every month, the Sabbath. Psalms 81 and 1. To the chief musician upon Gittith, a psalm of Asaph, sing aloud unto our power, our strength, make a joyful noise unto the power of Jacob. Take a psalm and bring hither the timbrel, the pleasant harp with the psaltery. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon in the time appointed on our solemn feast day, for this was the statute for Israel, and the law of the power of Jacob. All right, so in the law, what does it tell us about the moon and the feast days? It lets us know when the full moon, the trumpet is blown. The Sabbath and on Passover. All right. And that's really it on that. I'm gonna get this precept in Ezekiel and end it. This is Ezekiel 46 and 3. Likewise, the people of the land shall worship at the door of this gate before Yahweh in the Sabbaths and in the new moons, So the new moons are also Sabbaths, and that's how we track time, and that's the beginning of the month. All right? It doesn't mention the full moon, etc. New is new, full is full. Two different things. All right? So full moon is a weekly Sabbath, and the highest full moon is our Passover. All praises, honor, glory to Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostle, that was a great millstone, and Saturday brothers doing this thing, sincere and truth, and charity. Shalom, wa ba ba ba.